Barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free hit the subscribe button. I forgot to talk about this last week, and feel free to join the Patreon. And I said this when Jared Hurd fought on the Deontay Wilder undercard, the co-main, I believe it was. And I had just one concern about Jared Hurd, just one concern: will he stay in shape in between fights? Because I think he has the moxie. Some of you guys question like his organic boxing style, and similar to like the Deontay Wilder, similar to Marcos Maidana. Not everyone is Salvador Sanchez, Floyd Mayweather. The list goes on and on. Even Roy Jones could be considered unorthodox. He was just could have been a professional athlete in any sport, probably. And I am really enthralled with Jared Hurd, and what I mean by the word enthralled is he's interesting, like because he doesn't have the background of a boxer that everyone has. He doesn't fight like everyone has, but he is electrifying. He is must see boxing. Like the core boxing fans, you can't miss a Jared Hurd fight. You know what I mean? He could be losing on the cards. He gonna stop you. You understand? He could be, he'll walk you down and beat you. He'll beat you up and beat you. Jared Hurd, you was on the edge of, I know every fight fan who loved boxing was on the edge of their seat watching Tony Harris and Jared Hurd. You understand? You was on the edge of your seat when you was watching Laura, Jared Hurd. Jared Hurd is a must-see TV, but as I tell you why I did this video, I had one concern, and I expressed this with Jared Hurd. My only concern is him blowing up in between fights, and that wear and tear on your body because he comes down so far. And I thank Ernesto for giving me the opportunity to watch him work out for the for his fight against the kid. I forget the UK kid that he fought, but if you watch Jared Hurd work out, I mean, you would be amazed at the his physical tools that God blessed him with. His fast twitch muscle fibers from his shoulders, from his waist on up, is dumb. I think if as time progresses, he's going to become a better defensive fighter. You know what I mean? Maybe not in terms of slipping his head, but in terms of closing the door, catching punches, fighting on one side of the man's body so you can see the punches coming, especially against a strong side. He may not be like a slip kind of guy, but he may come in more angular and be able to catch shit on his gloves, parry a whole bunch of shit. But I saw him this past Saturday. I mean, last Saturday. Tank Davis. Last Friday, excuse me. I didn't interview him Saturday. And I told him, I was like, damn, you're in great shape. And with him being in great shape, it makes him a threat at both 154 and 160. It makes him a big threat. He can go up to 160 and get a mega fight. Remember, he's a unified champion. So networks and Showtime, and that's a beautiful fight for him to be up against. You understand? Like, hypothetically speaking, Canelo gets through, Triple G comes back, and they fighting on opposing networks. That's a really big fight. And I saw him. He had, he had. I don't know what they call them, but the skinny outfits. That I don't want to say form fitting, but you guys know what I'm talking about. And he was in shape. I gotta say pause, right? I gotta say pause after that because this is 2019. These are the young kids watching my channel, and he was in dumb shape. Jared Hurd was in dumb shape last week. I don't know what his weight was, but he looked in great shape. And when I saw, and I told him when I saw him in July, I was like, I mean, it was his first. He was celebrating. He's been off since April, I believe. He's enjoying himself. I know he's been doing stuff in the community with the Redskins. He's been getting a lot of awards. And he has every right to celebrate and do what he wants to do. And I told him, I said, I told Jared, I only have one concern, is that you blowing up in between fights, because maybe a year and a half from now, it's not going to be muscle when you tone down. It's going to be kind of fat deposits, and the preservatives that you eat won't allow your muscles to conform to muscle. Won't allow your muscles conform to muscles, but it will rather be fat, and it'll be soft tissue, And I was pleased, and because I'm pleased, and because of what I saw, Jared Hurd is a major problem. Jared Hurd is, by the end of this year, if he can get past JROC, I if he can get past JROC, he is bona fide one of the toughest men in boxing. Y'all say what y'all want to say. I mean metal tough, um, like can take anything and win. He done fought after Jared Hurd. Excuse me. If he can beat JROC, he's beat every type of fighter that his division can throw at him. Every type of fighter. You want a boxer, you want a puncher, you want a slick guy in Austin Trout. You know what I mean? You want the quote unquote. Tony Harrison was supposed to be the ace high of the 154-pound division. He's back climbing that ladder now. But if you throw everyone in 2 years ago, some boxing experts would have predicted Tony Harrison would have been the better out of everyone, just because of his background and his natural boxing style, But he's defeated every style, And I was very impressed with Erickson Lubin last week. I'm glad he's back. 154-pound division is interesting personalities. There's a certain level of respect at 54 that's probably not at any other division. I like that. It's 154 is a gentleman's division. Some of you guys may say Charlo is not, but he really is. He has the reason why I know Jermell Charlo has a great deal of respect for his opponents, because he's never out of shape. And when you don't have a great deal of respect for your opponents, you don't train like you don't train like it. And Jermell Charlo, every time I see him, he looks like he's 168 pounds. He looks like he's a week away from getting to 154. You know what I mean? Like he looks great, and I'm excited to have the Charlos back. Boxing misses the Charlos. No matter how you feel about it. I'll do a video on this, but boxing misses the Charlos. You know what I mean? They're polarizing. They keep boxing. They keep boxing upbeat. They keep us on I'm talking about not just media, I'm talking about just boxing fans in general. But as I get back to Jared Hurd, he's in great shape right now. He has the date, May 11th. I don't know when they're going to announce the fight, but I got confirmation maybe about, when did I announce that fight? About 5 weeks ago. So they don't have a location for that fight yet, but that fight is pretty set in stone, May 11th. I think I told you guys that before Christmas or just after Christmas. I can't recall, but should be a good fight. And if Jared Hurd gets past JROC, you guys going to disagree with me because you guys are looking at boxing style. He's top 5 pound for pound fighter in the world. I'm making a claim. And just for the sake of arguments, let's just say top 10 pound for pound fighter in the world. I know he hasn't changed divisions, but he's one of the few boxers in the world that has fought every style and defeated them. And there's a level of respect that Team Hurd has that I actually like. I actually like how they carry themselves. I like how they're how there's a presence of authority and humility in that camp. Jared Hurd is a humble kid, but he keeps flip around him that keep everything natural. It's not some big team, big squad around him. So I enjoy that about them. And I'm excited for Jared Hurd's next fight. It's if Deontay Wilder announces that fight, it's going to be hard for me to get to that fight because I can't stay away from my family for 2 weeks. So I'm going to have to pick one. And I think Deontay Wilder might win that coin toss, right? But I don't, not unless I fly in Friday night and leave Sunday and then fly right back to the East Coast on Tuesday night. You know, that's not really cost effective for me on my budget. You know what I mean? The money that I put into boxing. So, um, but um, regardless of what I'm gonna do in terms of picking a fight, Jared Hurd beats JROC. I'm gonna argue for top five, but he's guaranteed top 10. He's a top five fighter in the world. And why and why that date is important, because that date comes after what happens on the zone. Oh, Daniel Jacobs fight. He's a Al Haymon fighter. He fights May 4th, right? So with that being said, um, uh, I think however he or his opponent performs will elevate. Regardless, it's going to elevate Jared Hurd because of Daniel Jacobs' terrible performance or great performance, or Daniel Jacobs' great performance, terrible performance. I know it's at 160, but I'm talking about the pound for pound list. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that's important. We'll have a clear indicator of where everyone's at. Earl Spence fighting Mikey Garcia. Lomachenko fights April 12th. And Terrence Crawford fights April 20th. So Jared Hurd probably is the last guy. I think Deontay Wilder is a top 5 pound for pound fighter because he gets outweighed by at least 30 pounds every fight. So you have to include him as well. Jared Hurd beats JROC. JROC is an unmovable object. He is as strong as anyone can be mentally, spiritually. You interview JROC. He is a believable person. He is not a waste of word type of guy. I love how he tells his stories. I love how convicted he is in the person that he is to this date. He's going to train like no other for Jared Hurd. He's going to come in great shape. And if Jared Hurd gets past JROC, you can make great arguments that Jared Hurd is a top 5 pound for pound guy. And why? With a condensed amateur background, he has beaten every style. Arguably, it's debatable. You guys can debate, but I'm talking about just as a whole, as a composite. He's beaten every style you can possibly defeat, in boxing, and he's come from behind. He's in the league, and he's beat Lara. Lara looked unbeatable last year, 2 years ago. The only way to beat Lara is on the card. You know what I mean? Like, Lara is just one of them guys that, just impossible to beat, But anyways, man, I've said enough. And I want to give credit to Jared Hurd's team. I want to give credit to Ernesto, was it Hillcrest Boxing. I was very impressed with what Jared Hurd looked like. And this is 2 months, December 1st, January 1st, February 1st. This is 10 weeks after his last fight, and he looked great. And so I want to say congratulations to them. He beats JROC. I'm going to come on this YouTube channel. I'm going to come on my YouTube channel and debate and give you guys reasons why he quite possibly could be a top 5 pound for pound fighter in the world. Barbershop Conversations. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.